I attracted my audience through specific ways. To target the female audience, I used the stereotypically female colours in my hairstyle, such as vibrant pink and yellow. While making my magazine, I kept referring back to my ideal reader profile so that I could target my specific audience well. As said in my ideal reader profile, my audience have a favourite band and are loyal to them. With that in mind, I thought of specific bands where they have a big following. For example, I placed All Time Low on my front cover because through viewing Twitter and other social network sites, you can see that they have a loyal following. Also, as my ideal reader would be quite intelligent and broad-minded, I interpreted this into my contents page and double page spread by not making the text too simplistic, so that it shows that the audience are that bit older and not in their younger teens. Looking at my reader profile, I featured a lot to do with festivals, alcohol and fashion, as these are some of the things that my reader enjoys. On my front page, I have therefore added a section on Leeds Festival and my festival guide, which features several different logos of festivals around the UK. I have also made sure that my models are dressed fashionably and in current trendy clothing such as leather shorts, check shirt, patterned leggings, colourful blouses, etc. This is so that this will attract my audience and they will be able to tell that this artist is young and someone they may like. Also, because the audience will be teens, young adults, who will be constantly on the internet and social networking sites, the Slay website is constantly displayed around the magazine to urge them to go and visit it. Plugs and giveaways are used to attract my audience as they are 56% ABC ones, so they have a disposable income, which means they can afford a £2 every 2 week magazine, but they may not be able to afford other things, which is why the subscription box offers the chance to receive a free gift worth over £30, which to 16-year-olds is quite a decent amount of money to spare. Before I made my product, I had an imaginary entity who Yen Ang said is someone who the magazine is set up to target. My imaginary entity influenced everything about my magazine. My imaginary entity is a white British 18-year-old female who is studying media, music, English language and art at college. She is in full-time education but has a part-time job on the side to be able to afford gig tickets and her favourite magazine, Slur. She saves up her money from her job to be able to afford tickets to Leeds Fest so that her parents don't have to pay because they are middle working class people in full-time work. When she has the money, she enjoys going to the local pub in her town where live bands often play. There is also indie music playing constantly. To attract my ideal audience, I had to make sure I included certain features. As the indie genre is quite informal, the mode of address used in my magazine had to be the same. Peer-to-peer mode of address is used constantly through the magazine as it is informal and I have used quite a colloquial writing style. On the double page spread, the fact that it says the wicked bitch of the north showing swearing, which is a colloquial style of language, could show that there is a familiar feel to the relationship, and so there is no hesitation to swear in front of the audience. However, it can be argued that teacher-to-pupil mode of address is also used. On the contents page, the teacher-to-pupil is used as the magazine is new, so the audience will need guidance on where to find things and navigation around the magazine. It could also be said that it was used on the double page spread as they were learning new things about a new artist, and it is set out in a way that is easy for them to see. The images of people I use in my magazine are both female, so that they attract my 60% female audience as they will see them as an ideal self and aspire to be them. Carl Rogers. However, the fact that I've used an entirely female models will also attract my 40% male audience as they will see the models as an ideal partner as they are very pretty and so will want to read about them. The mise-en-scène I used was to make my models appear as rocky and indie as possible. Through costume and makeup I have made them appear this way as my main model is wearing dark lipstick and matching clothes which will connote the rock star in her, whereas my other model is wearing a check top which is sleeveless. This appears to be an outfit that stereotypically appears in punk scenes, making them appear more hardcore. Matching with her dark makeup is attracting the audience as they will want to read about this. The clothes that my models are wearing are the type of clothing that my imaginary entity would wear, and if my models wear them, then my audience will be able to relate to them. I use the specific images I did so that they can relate to the cover lines. Roxy, Annie Kitchen, is never smiling in any of her pictures and always appears more serious. This is to connote her seriousness about the music, but also to make her appear like she hates the world, which is what I am trying to portray to my audience. Whereas Raven, aka Abby Stubbs, is pulling a stereotypical rock pose which is famously seen on Gene Simmons. This is so the audience can relate to their favourite bands and it'll denote of other rock bands. I've changed the names of my artists to connote the rock genre more. I changed Annie's name to Roxette as this literally says rock in it and it is stereotypically a rock chick name. And so the audience will partner this to her star persona and overall denote a hardcore rebel. I've changed Abby's name to Raven as that's the colour of her hair and it also connotes rock as it makes the reader visualise a dark bird, which will then lead them to think of dark music, a dark attitude and just general darkness about her. These poses are iconic symbols as they are signs of what type of magazine it is and also what kind of people my models are. Charles Sanders Peirce, 1931. The cover lines I used are stereotypical indie ones, however they are all to do with modern bands and music and so aim at my young audience as well, as they stereotypically will be up to date with modern music. My main cover line will also tie into Charles Sanders Peirce's theory as the fact that my model says, "I don't want friends" is a sign that she's a loner and is rebellious. The free gifts and subscription box are used to attract my audience, as although they are 56% ABC ones with more of a disposable income, they are still young and therefore still like free things.